I had a call with an athlete this afternoon who had gone to 4 different doctors or 4 different specialists, and each one of them had come back with a different take on what they saw, as well as a different take on what they wanted to do in order to take care or resolve the issue. So I don't want to get into like the doctor side of things because that's not what I want to get into here, but instead understanding that the reason when I'm doing rehab or the reason when we're doing training that all I want to work with is what the body is providing us is because if I work off of a diagnosis or a label or whatever someone has said that you quote unquote have, we need to understand that it's not that clear and it's not that straightforward. Because in this example, in this call that I had, he's gone to 4 different people who are all similar in terms of what they do, and each one had a different opinion or a different take on what they saw. So what you've quote unquote been told that you have might be true, might be not, whatever. But the point is, it's not that clear, it's not that straightforward. Like just because someone says that this is their opinion on what they're seeing and what you should do about it doesn't mean that that's what it is. So if during a rehab process or during a training process, we base it off of what you've been told you have or the label or diagnosis that you've been given, we might be working off something that's false or not fully true. Because again, even those that are providing these don't always or can't agree on what it is that they're calling it or what it is that they're going to like present as a solution to that. So it's extremely important to understand that it's not that black and white. So when I'm going through training or when I'm going through rehab, the one thing that we can understand, because it's right there and it's happening in the moment, is the feedback that your body is giving you in terms of when you try to do this, you feel that sensation. When I try to do that, I feel that sensation, right? That's real-time feedback that we're getting all the time. And that's what we use during rehab. That's what we use during training. And then we stimulate like to a point that we're able to be prepared for whatever it is that you want to do. It's not always that straightforward, but the body is always correct. So if we haven't found whatever it is, like the way that we need to attack that, stimulate it, address it, all that means is we haven't provided the proper input to the system yet, right? But the body is always correct, and because there's no other way that it can be, right? Like the body can only express what the body is expressing, and that's it. That's always right. What someone calls it or someone sees it or what someone labels it as is more of an opinion, and again, demonstrated by the 4 different opinions from 4 different doctors who are all basically seeing the same thing that just have different takes on it. Not to say that those people aren't beneficial in a process. Like there's a time and place for that, especially for athletes and people on a timeline. Like we have to bring context into this, but it's extremely important that when we go to work, we don't go off of what you've been told you have, but rather we go off of how your body is presenting every single moment, day to day. And that's what we use to guide what we're doing.